Hello, welcome back to Inside the Tape with Greg Cosell on the Inside the Birds platform. I'm Jeff Mosher, and of course, Greg Cosell is with us to break down the second part of the Eagles in their 16-9 win over the Lions, and the second part is offense. And Greg, first was defense. First was not the worst. First was the best. Now we get to offense. And for, I don't know, the second straight week, it just does not look great. And go ahead.
I'm truly confused. I mean,
I'm with you.
I know people want to rip, the coaching staff, and that's fine. But there's no way that Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo don't know route concepts and route combinations. There's no way that they don't know these things. My question is why? Why does this offense essentially look like a high school offense in the pass game with a quarterback that they're almost playing to protect? That's the way it looks on tape. I'm not making a judgment about the talent of Jalen Hurts. There's no judgment here. This is what the tape shows.
Right.
The tape shows a pass game that's very remedial and elementary in its concepts and combinations. And there's no way Nick Sirianni doesn't know these things. Nick Sirianni was in the league for quite a while before he even got to the Eagles he was with Phillip Rivers. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he knows these things. Kevin Patullo has been in the league long enough. He knows these things too. Mm-hmm. I talk to coaches in the off season. I've been to training camps. All these coaches know these things. Believe me. So I'm truly more surprised and befuddled than anything else. That's the way I feel when I watch the Eagles offensive tape.
I am with you. I've spent the last, since the end of the game till now to get to talk to you about it. I'm really wrestling with a lot of things, and we understand what the offense is. It's been that way for years. It's probably, I would say it's struggled in the past, and we've pointed out, but it's always peaked and valleyed. It would have some bad games followed by some really good ones, then some medium ones, but it feels like lately this is sort of bottom of the barrel even for this pass offense. And the one thing that jumps out to me is what you just said, and I really wanted to get into it with you, is that I'm not suggesting that they're not trying, but they are not necessarily adding, or it doesn't look like they've added something to try to switch it up to help it. When we talk about the run game, under center was a radically different thing. They hadn't done that, right? Jumbo package. They're trying. They're doing things differently. But to your point, I feel like I almost can call out what I think the route concepts are going to be versus certain coverages, because that's just what they do. And I wonder if the mindset is we win this way. It's works. We don't turn the ball over. So I don't care if we only score, but that they want to be more functional.
So the question is, and that's why I struggle with the answer, because what it says to me is why. Look, I made a lot of notes on toward the end of watching this tape, because I was just researching the Eagles, and you saw it because I sent it to you. What they ultimately are and have to be, and they're trying to get there. That's why they played so much 12 personnel in this game. They're kind of searching and groping, Jeff, for how to get back to what they have to be, which is run game foundation, big play passing. Hurts's legs, a factor both by design and off schedule. He did have 2 quarterback draws in this game that mattered and got first downs. They're not a sustaining passing team. They weren't even a year ago.
Correct.
One of the key factors is they don't turn the ball over. But this year they've been really poor on third down relative to they were a year ago. They've only gained 300 yards of total offense in 5 games this year. And 2 of those games, they had 302 yards. In today's NFL, that's really, really bad.
Yeah.
Barkley's had 2 rushes of 20 or more yards, both in the same game. Last year, he had 17 of them.
Yeah.
So it's been bad. And I don't have an answer for this. I wish I did. I wish I had a profound statement to make. But like I said, I'm not trying to knock anybody. It's just, this is what the tape shows.
Right.
They're just, it looks like a remedial elementary offense in the pass game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can understand why players are frustrated. I thought the offense, I want to ask you about the offensive line. I thought Run blocking again. I know it's a good defensive Lions front. I thought Cam Jurgens, you didn't have this in your notes, but just watching a couple of plays that I picked out too, maybe the athleticism that he's normally had, I just don't think it's there.
Well, he got hurt again too. So and did they not disclose the injury? Have they disclosed it?
At the time of us recording this, they have not yet disclosed the injury to my knowledge. So
I mean, who knows if he's, because obviously Toth came in and played the last 12, 13 snaps of the game. Right. And it was interesting. The first play he was in, and it only gained 2 yards, I think, but they used him on a pull because right now he's actually more athletic than Jurgens because Jurgens just doesn't look like himself.
Correct. And that hurts. I mean, I think we talk about the run game being foundational to their run game over the years, whether it's Kelsey, whether it's Jurgens, whether it's Dickerson playing in there, is that they run inside zone, they run duo, they run between the tackles. And if you're looking for Exhibit A, they're just not able to do that.
No.
Dickerson's getting better, I think, because we're not talking about him as much, but just in general, up the middle is not where they're getting push.
No, so it's the run game's not been there. The pass game, I mean, it's never been truly a sustaining pass game in a strict sense, but the big plays have not been there. I mean, look, they had one pass play of 20 or more yards in this game, and that was the third quarter outside of structure play with, Hurts out of his own end zone, made the great throw, and it was a great throw to Dotson, who had adjusted his route. But other than that, I mean, they really don't get much in terms of a structured pass game. They don't get much in the way of explosive plays.
Yeah. Hey, man, 85, 2025. I guess 40 years later, the Eagles are trying to be the 85 Bears, right? Just bully everybody to death defensively and score a few points a game and see if that works.
Look, the bottom line is no matter what you say about the Eagles, the response, and there's no way to argue it, is they're 8-2.
Yeah.
And that's just a mathematical equation. But
true.
No, as well as I do that no one's happy in the building about the way the offense is playing.
Yeah. I joked with a friend the other day, Greg, that I think I'm resigned to the fact that the Super Bowl is going to be the Eagles and the Broncos, and one of the teams is going to win it 5-2.
There you go. Right.
And it's a win in the books.
But we certainly won't get a complete game because you don't get any of those anymore either.
No, it's fact. Those two teams are pretty strikingly similar. If you think about it, right? They're very similar. Interesting. There's one last thing I did want to ask you offensively. What was it? The one positive I'm taking is that we've talked about Hurts in the run, the designed quarterback draw on when you go empty, spread it out. There was one against the Lions, well, two against Lions, but one, I'm pretty sure they knew it was coming and they still couldn't stop it. The second one, because
funny because that was out of empty, and my sense was watching that play that Barnes was deployed as a spy, but I thought he got too aggressive and he attacked Hurts rather than controlling Hurts, and he attacked him from one side, and Hurts just ran to the other. But it was a quarterback draw anyway. But they had two quarterback draws, and both of them gained 10 plus yards and got first downs.
Right. Amazing. And then last week against the Packer, or Monday night, they had a really successful one that would have been if he didn't fumble at the end of it. Punched out. But so again, the run game has had its wrinkles and change ups, but still waiting for that in the pass game. We'll see. We'll see if it's against the Cowboys or at some point soon.
I mean, who would have thought? Okay, just think of it this way. I don't play fantasy, but I'm sure Barkley was like the number one fantasy guy based on what he did a year ago. And right now, Barkley's the 14th leading rusher in the NFL, and who would have thought that?
No, certainly not me. Hey, it's Jeff Mosher, and if you have a family and kids at home like me, you always want them to be fully protected. That's why I'm thrilled to be a Simply Safe customer, and our house is equipped with the most technologically advanced alarm system you can get. If you could actually stop someone from breaking into your home before they got inside, why wouldn't you? Traditional security systems only react after a break-in, but Simply Safe is different because it stops crimes before they happen with Active Guard outdoor protection. Their AI-powered cameras detect threats while they're still outside your home, and they alert real security agents. These agents take action while the intruder is still outside and confront the intruder to let them know they're being watched on camera and police is on the way. And that's how you stop a crime before it's committed. There's no long-term contracts or hidden fees. You can cancel anytime, and it comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Try it and see the difference for yourself. Do not miss out on Simply Safe's biggest sale of the year, 60% off. Our listeners get 60% off a Simply Safe home security system at simplysafe.com/bird. That's simplysafe.com/bird. Hey, I still like a good night out, but I'm not always in the mood to drink, and that's why I looked for a great alternative, and I found one. It's called Soul's Out of Office Gummies. You get the same light, happy buzz, but you don't have the hangover. There's no sugar, and you don't get that awkward feeling the next morning. They help me unwind and ease into my evening without the alcohol or the next day fog. Soul is a wellness brand that believes feeling good should be fun and easy. Soul specializes in delicious hemp-derived THC and CBD products designed to boost your mood and help you unwind. Their best-selling out-of-office gummies were designed to provide a mild, relaxing buzz, boost your mood, and enhance your creativity and relaxation. With 5 different strengths, you can tailor the dose to fit your vibe. From a gentle 1.5 milligram microdose to their newest 15 milligram gummy for a more elevated experience. They've also got a variety of products specifically designed to help you get a better night's rest, including Soul's top selling sleep gummy, a fan favorite for deep restorative sleep. So bring on the good vibes and treat yourself to Soul today. Right now, Soul is offering our audience 30% off your entire order. So go to getsoul.com and use the code BIRDS, BIRDS. That's getsoul.com, promo code BIRDS for 30% off. All right, well, let's take a look at some of the footage here, Greg. And we'll start off with some positive things because there were some good throws, some good runs that we'll get into first. Obviously, the first one was a really nice throw and catch between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown very early in the game. It's an 11-yard pickup here. Do you remember this play? And
yeah, this was 3rd and 10 on the first possession. It came versus Alliance 5-man overload blitz concept to Hurts' front side. Hurts threw this with really good timing. He threw the sideline stop route to Brown. Yasin was in off coverage, so Brown was not disrupted on his vertical stem. He slipped, so he ended up having to make a tough catch because he slipped. But it was the timing was there, and it worked. I mean, this is just good football. Corners off, you throw this route. It's if he doesn't slip, it's pitch and catch.
Right. I mean, the ability to make this catch while you're reaching up on your knees and getting drilled in the back is pretty impressive.
It's a great catch.
All right. Let's talk about the best run Saquon had off a play called 90 flip, which we have talked about. This is not John DeFilippo, not that flip.
No, it's 90 flip.
It's a flip of direction.
I don't know if everybody else calls it that. I remember that's what the Rams called it when with Mike Martz. And so that in my mind, it's 90 flip.
I like it. It's a fun name. So this works off misdirection, basically.
Yeah, well, yes, because what you're going to see is if you run it, you're going to see the left guard Dickerson pull, and that's meant to control the second level, and it does. Look at the second level defenders, and now it clears the edge for Barkley. So it's a flip out to Barkley, and the edge is clear.
It's a great play design. I think this is one where you credit the play design.
This is a design.
Yeah, because you know how like some passes we say are zero read passes. This is a non-blocking play. The blocking is supposed to take everybody away from.
And it does. This play worked really well.
Yep, absolutely. I didn't know if this one stood out to you watching the play from this angle, but obviously Juergens is the only one who's out on the side. And I was watching him, and I feel like he just didn't look at like his normal explosion. You know, he's behind the play. Not that he's supposed to be. Usually, I remember when Kelsey would he'd be out in front, like mauling somebody.
I mean, Kelsey was special in that regard.
But even Juergens had that athleticism. And that was the first sign to me. I'm like, maybe he's just not, athletically at the level.
Well, I'm curious when they do disclose the injury, what it is, whether it means he's out, because we now know Lane Johnson's out for 4 to 6 weeks. So you will see what happens with Juergens.
All right, here we have what I thought was a really nice throw, a slant, right, from Hurts to A.J. Brown that sets up a touchdown. Barkley gets to the run, and then he's not in, and then Hurts finishes it off with the with the keeper touchdown.
So this was Brown 11 yards on 2nd and 3 on the second quarter touchdown drive, where it's a quick slant versus Yasin's press man coverage off what I call conventional bang play action, meaning it's under center. And you see when I say bang play action, it's 3-step drop timing. That's why I call it bang play action. This is normally not a play they run a lot of. And the reason they don't run a lot of this is because Hurts is not truly a compact thrower. And this kind of play requires a real compact delivery. But Brown does a great job of beating Yasin. The passing lane is there because you have the run element to it. And he puts it on him, and, he gets it down, and it sets up the touchdown.
Yep. And I know that that's the read and that's the defined read, but it is still a throw between the numbers between a couple of defenders.
Yeah, it's a one-read play. Yeah. The only way you wouldn't throw it is as you're getting ready to throw, someone's sitting there, but it's a one-read throw.
Right.
You're not really – 3-step, you're not reading anything. 3-step, particularly when you turn your back.
Right. But we've seen Hurts kind of make these throws on those kind of – and that goes back to the question, could you figure out a way to incorporate that a little bit more into the offense?
Yeah. No, that's a good play. It's a really good play.
All right. So let's take a look at just a couple of Barkley runs. This is up the middle. I mean, he really struggled to find space and push. I don't know if this one just jumped out to you, Greg, because it's a run, but we'll take a look at it. He's going to wind up getting dropped for -1 on here. This is not Jumbo.
This was the run where I'm always leery of talking about a running back's vision just because you don't know. But this was a run where I thought, again, like I said, I could be 100% wrong, Jeff, and I'm saying that honestly.
Sure.
But I thought that because this was a short yardage play.
Yes.
Yeah, this was he only needed 1 yard to get a first down, if I'm not mistaken, on this play.
I believe you're correct. Yep.
And if you just run it, I just thought, look here, go back just a little bit.
Okay.
If you can. Go back to when he takes the ball right there. Just follow. You need 1 yard. When I saw this play, I thought, okay, he's going to go, inside of 69 and inside of Mailata, and he's going to get, the yard or two or whatever it is.
Right.
And he just ran up the back of Dickerson.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to. Barkley's Barkley. He's obviously, one of the better backs in the league. I've never played running back, so I'm not going to sit here and say, but it just struck me as there was space there and he needed 1 yard.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Dickerson, Lane really got pushed back here.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Lane must have been. I think it's fair to say, like, Lane must not have been at 100%. Obviously, he suffered Liz Frank in the game, but he already was dealing with the ankle.
I'm just hoping that this is not the last year of Lane Johnson being like a really good player, because there's just been times this year where he hasn't quite been the guy we've seen who's a first ballot Hall of Famer without question.
Right. No, that's fair. And so Barkley could have hit that hole too, but also zero push. I mean, the line of scrimmage got reset on their side between Dickerson, Lane Johnson, and Calcaterra. There's just nowhere for Barkley to go on that one. Here's another one. This is going to be Barkley getting -3. I think Juergens just can't make the angle block that we usually have seen him be able to make. It just sort of gets turned around,
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. I would say he didn't really fire off the ball there very well.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's just right now, and I'm not trying to criticize him. He's playing hurt or just not.
I mean, a lot of one term that's often used, with offensive line play for the center is snap to step. And it just seemed like the step to step here was slow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, he's falling into the guy instead of getting a good hard block onto him, and then that of course, just basically gives Barkley nowhere to run right away.
So I mean, it's just one of those plays. He didn't look quick off the ball.
Right. And then here's another one where, and maybe you'll set me straight if I'm wrong. I mean, I felt like this is the -8 catch from Barkley, where I think Juergens is trying to get to Anzalone, but just doesn't get there.
This is a hard block. He's not getting there. I'm not sure any center gets there because Anzalone moved right away.
So he read it out. Okay.
This is man coverage, and Anzalone has the back. So He's going as soon as Barkley starts to move. Anzalone's here. You watch. Just if you play it, boom, he's on his horse right now.
Yeah,
Jurgens is not getting there.
that's true.
I don't think any center's getting there. So this is not really a knock on Jurgens.
Okay.
He's not getting there.
That's why we bring you on the show.
Yeah,
I wasn't certain myself, but which is why I wanted to get your take on that. Okay.
Because it's man. If it was zone and Jurgens, and then Anzalone was reacting rather than being proactive and go. Because look, Anzalone's moving the second Barkley moves.
Yeah.
He's not getting there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's much faster, obviously, being a smaller linebacker.
He's not getting there.
Yeah, and poor Barkley didn't get the ball in time to make him miss. Hey, Philly fans, game day is stressful enough. Parking, traffic, long lines. We've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. This is the dispensary for sports fans, just minutes outside of Philly with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting. And they don't just care about convenience. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up. To finish us off, did the Lions, they played a lot of cover 3 man, correct?
They played a lot more man than I would have thought, and they didn't spy regularly, which kind of surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
But they played a lot of man coverage in this game. I mean, an awful lot.
And that's not something they typically do?
They played the highest percentage of cover 1 of any defense in the league this past week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they play man. I mean, they do play man. Now, it's not a surprise, but the amount they play, think of it this way. They played with backup outside corners, okay? Because Robertson's a good player, but he's probably a slot. Yasin's been with a lot of teams. He's the Temple kid, originally a second-round pick. I mean, considered a good prospect when he came out, but he's been with a lot of teams. But they're their backup corners. Right. So they played a ton of man with Robertson and Yasin against Brown and Smith. What does that say? Again, I'm trying to understand this and to figure out why. Right. They had no problem playing with their backup corners man-to-man against Smith and Brown, which I don't believe is a knock on Smith and Brown. I think it's more of a knock on the pass game.
Right. I agree with you. And then, so that made me wonder about the counteraction I wanted to ask you about, because the Eagles played 40 snaps of 12 personnel and 19 of 11. So with them being so beat up, I wonder what the thought process of not trying to get a little bit more 11 personnel and make them have to put Arthur Millette out there in the nickel, just one more backup.
Again, it's another why question. I mean, wouldn't you think that, okay, they're playing with 2 backups on the outside. They're playing with a backup in the slot. Okay. They're playing with a backup safety in Thomas Harper. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think it's Thomas, his first
name. Yes, Thomas Harper.
12.
Yep.
And the Eagles didn't really throw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's a why. I don't have an answer. People can give whatever answer they want. You and I could talk about it for the next hour and we still won't know. But it's just very confusing to me.
I would agree. All right. Well, maybe next time after the Cowboys game, we'll have more answers, or very possibly, Greg, more questions. I know that's hard to believe, but we might even have more questions after that. But that's going to do it for this episode of Inside the Tape, looking at the Eagles offense, of course, and their win against the Lions. For Greg Cosell, I'm Jeff Mosher. Thanks for watching Inside the Tape with Greg Cosell on Inside the Birds.